back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the new to Booktube tag, and I will link the original author of this tag down below so you guys can check out her original video. Obviously, since I'm new to YouTube, nobody tagged me in this video. I'm just doing it myself as a way to introduce myself to the community. Okay, so number one is, where are you from? I am joining you from Minnesota. Unfortunately, you will probably recognize my Midwest accent throughout my videos. I know it's kind of gross, so just bear with me. I'm hoping it's not too strong. Question number two is, how old are you? I am 30, but by the time this video goes up, I'm guessing I will be 31. The next question is, why did you join Booktube? So that's kind of a hard question. I just felt like I had some room in my life for a side project, and I was kind of trying to decide what that would look like. I wanted it to be something that I could be creative, and I wanted it to be about something positive that I liked. So I kind of thought maybe I would do photography, maybe I would start a blog. I didn't really know, but when I kind of discovered Booktube, and the more and more I started watching these videos and getting interested in the discussions, I kind of had the idea to start a channel. So another reason is just because I think whenever you're sort of going through a hard time in your life, it's easy to let all of that negativity consume your entire life. As hard as you try to be positive, as hard as you try to realize that other people have it so much worse than you do, and you try to be thankful for things you do have, it's just a battle. It just can get really unhealthy. You know, for me, I will talk on my channel about this. I've been struggling with infertility, and I'm just ready to move on from that and to have something more positive going on. So I will talk about it on my channel because it is a big part of my life, and I want to be authentic, I guess. And if, you know, sharing a little bit about my journey could help someone else, I think that's really maybe why we go through rough things, is so that we can help other people. My cat is here. He's very curious about why I've been sitting in here talking to myself for so long. I think he's also annoyed because this is kind of like his favorite spot to nap all day, and I have my camera set up right in his way. So he's just gonna chill here until I decide to move. I think it's really beautiful the way that books can help you through things and overcome things. You know, whether you're dealing with infertility, infant loss, whether you're dealing with mental health, if you have some kind of a chronic illness or disease, if you lost someone in your life, it's so easy to let your life become just about that. But I don't know, I just encourage you guys, like, you're more than that. You're more than your loss and your grief and your illness. And try to focus on those things that are positive, those things that you like about yourself and that you enjoy doing in life. Guys, I'm like trying to have a pep talk here and have a serious conversation. You're in my way. So, oh my gosh, this is like impossible. Yeah, I'm just in desperate need of like a fun hobby, so. Gus! He's like biting me, you guys. He's like really mad. This is my new sweater. Really? What is the meaning behind your channel name? So my channel name is Book Jello. When I started creating a channel, I was looking for something simple. I just wanted it to be maybe something with my name. So I was trying Books with Jordan or Books with Joe. And all of those were taken, unfortunately. So I was trying to brainstorm something, and I came up with Book Jello. So this is kind of based off of when I was a teenager. Me and a bunch of my friends would always do this activity, and we nicknamed it Making Jello. That was like the code name for what we would do. I know it sounds dirty, it's not dirty. What we would do when we were teenagers is we would go ahead and write down all of our thoughts and feelings and things that were bothering us that we needed to just get off of our soul, about parents, about boys, about school, just anything that was stressing us out or that we needed to talk about. We would write it all down, just kind of vomit it up onto this piece of paper. And then we would proceed to go outside and light it on fire and just kind of get it all out there. And so I thought it would be fun to call my channel Book Jello because it's sort of my way to get all of my thoughts and feelings out about books and things that I'm passionate about, and to put it all out there. So I don't know, it kind of fit and it made sense, and I think it's kind of a unique name that's a little bit weird and it might catch people's attention. Next up is what are some of the books you like to read and what are some of the books you want to talk about on YouTube. So I think I have a pretty eclectic taste in books. I like juvenile books, I like children's books, I like fantasy, new adult, young adult, contemporary, really everything I like. I am trying to read more classics this last year. That has been my goal. I've kind of struck out with a few, but I'm going to keep pushing through. The only genre that I tend to steer away from is probably like horror or psychological thrillers. I don't like to read really scary books. If it's a scary book that's surrounding the fantasy world where it's about monsters or scary things that don't really exist, I'm usually okay with that. But if it's talking about humans, I think that's terrifying. Like, I'm really scared of horror books and movies. I avoid them at all costs. I have enough anxiety in my life without watching that stuff or reading that stuff. So, but otherwise, I really like a little bit of everything. What are you currently reading? So I have 2 books that I'm working on right now. First up is The Wise Man's Fear. This is the 2nd book in the Kingkiller Chronicles. Amazing, amazing. And this is by Patrick Rothfuss. I don't know where I've been that I have not read this series yet in my life, but this is amazing. So I'm halfway to 3/4 of the way through with this 2nd one. The 2nd book that I'm currently working on is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is the 2nd book in the series. Looks like The Titan's Curse, and this is by Rick Riordan. And this has been a really fun series to read as well. I'm excited to finish this one. Okay, next up is who are some of your favorite authors? Oh boy, so I have a lot of authors I read. It's kind of hard to say someone's your favorite author if you've only read 1 or 2 of their books. Can you really say it's your favorite? But so some of them would probably be Frederick Bachman, Jessica Townsend, J.K. Rowling, C.S. Lewis, Sarah J. Maas, Jamie McGuire, Francine Rivers. So those are some of the authors that I like. What's the last book you read? So the last book I read was then, of course, the first one to the Percy Jackson series, and that was The Lightning Thief, and this was a really awesome book as well. What do you currently use for bookmarks? I currently use the checkout receipt for my library books as my bookmarks. You would think that that would encourage me to return my books to the library in a more timely manner, and unfortunately that is not always the case. Show us your current TBR pile. So I love to go to the library. Libraries are magical places. They give me a feeling of happiness when I go through the doors. So I don't have a lot of like physical TBR piles, but I can shout out some of the books that are on my TBR list. I usually use my Pinterest board for that. Some of my books are Beartown by Frederick Bachman, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter, The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules by Katharina Engelman Sundberg, The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabriella Zevin, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, The Kiss Quotient, Helen Hong, The City of Brass, I really want to read that one by S.A. Chakraborty. Oh my gosh, I totally should have actually practiced some of these author names before I just started spouting them off. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Yeah, those are some on my list. The next question, what is your favorite type of book? Do you like hardcover or softcover? Do you like ebooks or physical books? I'm reading in my home. I do prefer an actual physical book. There's something really comforting about that, but I do really love my Kindle for reading at night, especially if like my husband's trying to sleep and you know, then I don't have to have the lamp on. Because what book or book series got you into reading? So this is kind of a tough one for me. I really feel like I just came out of the womb reading books. I don't even know where my love of reading came from. I've just always been a very avid, passionate reader. I remember being in kindergarten and sucking up all of these chapter books that were probably way too advanced for me, but I know I used to read The Babysitter's Club. I used to love to read Nancy Drew. That was my all-time favorite series. I used to read that Sweet Valley High series. I used to read the Boxcar Children. So those are probably some of the big series that really got me into reading. How did you discover Booktube? So I would typically go on Booktube because I wanted to learn how to do something. There's a lot of great tutorials on Booktube. I used it a lot for like Excel formulas for work. I would go on YouTube like to learn how to tie a tie, or just like everyday things, food recipes, cooking, makeup, anything that you would want. And then somehow I stumbled across books and sort of realized that Booktube is a thing, and there's this whole subculture on YouTube that was like speaking to my soul. And so I really started to follow a lot of booktubers. Next up is, what challenges do you think you will face with Booktube? I think as you're starting out, a big challenge is just getting over that self-consciousness of trying something new and really kind of putting yourself out there. It's kind of scary. Just the internet is a scary place sometimes. It's not always super kind. There's a lot of negativity associated with any type of social media. So I think that's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I will say that the Booktube community, from what I've experienced and seen, is one of the most kind, respectful communities on YouTube. And I'm excited to be a part of it. The last question is, where else can we find you? Do you have other social media? At this time, I really only have a YouTube. By the time this video goes up, I may have started an Instagram, so if I have that, I will go ahead and put that below in the description. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this new to Booktube tag. I had a lot of fun answering all the questions and just having more of a chit-chatty type video with you guys. So I'll see you guys next time.